everybody, it's Dietitian Z
and Dietitian Shelly.
Welcome to Metabolica Mates Foodcast. Today we're going to talk a bit about sugar in beverages. Last week we spoke about the sugar content on labels and the hidden sugars in food. So how do we read the label and how do we know how much sugar is actually in our very popular sugar drinks? Please remember, as we spoke about last week, that sugar is a very addictive substance and it does cause addictive behavior. And once you consume too much, it becomes very, very difficult to stop. That is why it's important also not to try and stop over a period of time, but it's something that must be stopped cold turkey.
Yeah, and soft drinks are something that we typically have at a braai, or just, you put yourself a drink just to have with dinner, or even at a sports event, they just hand you a cup of any soft drink. So it's important to actually look at what is in that drink.
And the World Health Organization, a few years ago, they recommend that we do not have more than 12 teaspoons of sugar per day. That recommendation was changed a few years ago to now only 6 teaspoons of sugar a day. And then onto that, the recommendation is actually for a physical teaspoon of sugar, visible sugar, but we as low-carb dietitians, we look at all types of sugar, as you'll see from the previous foodcast. I'll add the link in the description below. So we look at fructose found in your fruit. We look at the lactose in your milk. So everything, once you count it up, it increases quite a lot. I have to say I've done it. I know we spoke the other day, Michelle, that we do sometimes calculate the sugar content in foods. If someone says, but I don't consume sugar, I've cut down on my sugar, there's no sugar in my tea and coffee. And I think the average that I usually see is anything between 20 teaspoons to 30 teaspoons of sugar a day, just by fruit, cereals, and starches alone.
Yeah, and to help with that decrease in the amount of sugar that you're supposed to have, or the limit that you're supposed to have, they introduced a levy in 2018. So after that levy was introduced, this popular drink actually decreased the amount of sugar they use in the drink by 26%. But then I added a lot more sweeteners. And some might say, okay, well, there's less sugar in the drink, so it's healthier, right? But it's not, because sweetness can also affect your gut, good bacteria. It can actually increase your sugar cravings because it alters the taste receptors in our brain, and it still affects your blood sugar and insulin response. So added sweetness might not be the best thing.
And then the sugar content is still high, even despite the added sweetness to it. And remember that a lot of the sweetness mimic, like you said, Michelle, the structure of sugar and still causes insulin secretion. So it doesn't necessarily help if you are insulin resistant and you want to lose weight or even fight inflammation to go for sweetened products instead of sugar products.
And even though the sugar was decreased by 26%, there's still quite a lot of sugar in the soft drink. So you must also make very sure on the label to actually look at the amount of sugar in the drink, because between the different sizes of drinks, the amount of sugar also differs. So for example, if you look at a buddy size, which is 440 mils, on the label you will see it says 7.5 grams of sugar per 100 ml. But if you look at a 2-liter container, it has 10.5 grams of sugar per 100 ml. So there's actually 3 grams sugar per 100 ml more when you compare the different sizes of drinks. So if you drink a buddy size, it has 8 teaspoons of sugar, which is quite a lot. And that exceeds the limit of 6 teaspoons of sugar per day. And if you just pour yourself a 250 ml glass of soft drink from a 2-liter container, it has 6.5 teaspoons of sugar. So it's almost the same depending on the size of drink you buy. So there's still a lot of sugar in a drink, And then you have the added sweetness as well.
That's scary.
Mm.
That is a lot of sugar. And that is just with one drink, you already exceed more than you should consume in a day. And I think the other side effect, if I can call it that, is the high caffeine content, which is obviously very bad for kids. And as well, anybody with mental disorders, depression, it does affect brain health. Consuming these high quantities. So we really do ask that you reconsider before you pour a glass, rather drink water or a tea or something like that. And also consider your health stages before you do this. And then the other guideline we can give is if you are addicted to any of these drinks, then please remember that it's addiction. You cannot slowly try and lower the intake thereof. It's better to just stop it completely. And I used to drink 1 liter of these fizzy drinks every day of my life. It's a bad place to be and you don't want to be there. And it just causes bad health problems. So thank you for joining. Thank you for all the insight, Michelle. It was really interesting. And then stay tuned. If you have any questions, please comment in the comment section and share and like our videos. Thank you so much from Metabolica Med Dietitians.